Episode 405 by 5, not by 8, by 5, because we quit early, of the Too Thick Pod, your home for sports cards. Levity, I'm Jeremy, joined by, as always, by Manny 6.9, Manny the Plug, and our special guest. I'm not even letting Manny do the intro. The one, the only, the living legend, Bronamath. Bronamath, welcome.
AKA Brandan Love to Manny's Lena the Plug.
If that's Jeremy's at Jeremy 22, so all three. What's up?
Manny,
What's up?
That was
Mr. Cream Pie Manny.
Meat sticks, Too Thick. This is a great intro, by the way. This is probably gonna go down as the best Too Thick intro of all.
Oh my gosh, he goes out in public, says calls me Lena the Plug, and I'm like, everyone looks at me. I'm like, thanks, Adam or Jeremy 22, and then we get strange looks. So how's it going, Brandan?
I'm good, man. How you guys been?
Great. I was like, Jeremy finished the Demon Slayer finally. Took him forever, and I was like, we need to have another TCG episode, so we wanted to get you on.
I appreciate you guys. You know, that's my passion. So anytime anyone wants to talk about TCG or anime in general, I am there.
So the wild thing since the last time that you came on is Manny's out on TCG. He's
Demon
back
Slayer.
in the sports. And I'm more in on TCG than I've ever been before. So it's been like a wild, like what a couple months makes.
Well, I would say I'm not completely out. I said tournament. I want to start getting tournament stuff because what I said on my last episode, Brandan, was me trying to do the buying the case and flipping. I failed miserably. You know, I failed miserably. It's like I'm a small fish in a big in the big ocean right now when it comes to TCG. I need to build up my following and my eBay account.
I mean, honestly, I don't think the following helps. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, like, having no following doesn't matter. It does help. However, I think having what people want is always going to be rule number one. So if you're on eBay selling something first, second, third, people want that. And I think if you're too late to the party, sometimes, you know, the love for things goes away. And I think that you were just on that side of the stick when I think you could have been easily, should you had listened to my guidance when I gave it to you, Lena the Plug.
No.
You would have been in a good position. Just listen to Jason Love, aka Bronamath, and I will take you to the promised land.
Well, no, we did it with the promo cards. We both graded at the same time, same level. Mine just came back 3 months after yours.
No, I graded mine quick grade.
Oh, see, you told me you did the same level. See, This is what's going on, Jeremy.
No, I told you what to do. You decided to do your own thing.
No, it's okay.
Brandan, like, I feel bad because sometimes we get on here and we try to be incredibly transparent about what we're doing. The good, the bad, the ugly. And Manny is really good at doing like 80 to 85% of the game plan. And then he misses that last little bit. It's difficult for him, or it's challenging. And instead of just like learning from it and like doing it again and getting a little bit better, he quits, goes into something else. And so now he's done 10 things half-assed, as opposed to sticking with 1 or 2 things and like really honing his craft.
I think Jeremy touches on the head there like really nicely, honestly. And I'm not trying to like shoot you at all. I think that I honestly
mention here.
If you would focus on one thing instead of having, you know, 5 or 6 in a pot, and excel in that one thing. I mean, TCG does really well, dude. Like, I don't care. You may have whiffed a couple times. There's someone's always going to buy it, right? In sports, sometimes someone may never want to buy the card ever again. We see that now with modern age cards where PSA 10s and PSA 9s may be $30, $20. You know, if you're buying the right TCG cards, I don't think you should ever dip below $50 or $60 if you buy the right ones, right? You know, like that lot that I sold Jeremy, I sold to him for cheap. I sold him a sick lot, all ready to grade for $300.
He was showing me. I was like, damn, you got a couple case hits and everything.
Yeah, I sold him for a really good price. And a couple of those cards in Black Label are, you know, $500, $600, $800 alone. And, you know, they're prepped, ready to go. And, you know, Jeremy's already graded some Black Labels off of me. So I think that you're at least going to get 1 or 2 in there, Jeremy. And that 350 alone just skyrockets.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. But like The one thing I think that hurt me the most was the One Piece, because I was early. You know, I was early. I graded early.
Was that OP3?
OP4, the one that just came out.
Okay, gotcha.
And I had a couple black labels, and one of the black labels barely made it over $100. And I was like, oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot. I know there were some that I whiffed on because I didn't listen to you, like the Dragon Ball World cards, when you were like, don't worry about the price. But that was my first round going through it. So next year I'll be ready, because I tell the listeners, the Dragon Ball Z World Tournament cards, last time we had Brandan on, we were talking about it. Well, they were coming out initially. People were selling them at $600, is what we were kind of hearing.
The leader packs.
The leader packs, yes. And someone was trying to sell them to me at $900. There's one at $800 and one at $1,100. And Brandan was like, buy them all. And I was like, bro, you're getting them at $600. Like, I can't, like, that's like in sports cards, that's a lot. And he was like, no, just buy them. And I didn't listen. Turns out those leader packs, didn't they get up to like $2K?
Yeah, they got up to like $2,500. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you're saying is you don't trust Brandan.
No, I do trust Brandan. I'm scared of myself because
here's what I did when I bought from him. Like I try to do as much research on myself, because you don't want to be that guy that just asks everybody to do the work for you.
Yeah.
You want to come with like a very poignant and specific question. And so even the lot that I bought from him, like, just to be clear, I'm thinking these cards are going here, these are going there. He said, yeah, cool. Even today, he shot me a message, said, hey, this might actually do better at BGS. So, I mean, and I think what Brandan said too is like, nobody's trying to be mean, but I don't know how else to tell you. Like, sometimes you just got to stick with something, man. You have to learn. And I do think that people often equate Black Label to like generational wealth. And I still think it needs to be the right card of the right product to get that like super premium, like the multiple thousands.
I mean, if you watch One Piece, Vivi is I would say a prominent character. And I thought with the Black Label that would have went for a couple. Like,
yeah, I think so too. I think if it was, what service was that? The $40 service?
Yeah.
So I think if you would have had that, the 100, and back within a couple of weeks of release of the product, I think it would have done far better.
Yes.
And that's in my experience, is I try to stay around release. Like, once you get like a month out from release on a product, at that point, people said, oh, well, I'm just going to buy my own raw and grade them and see what I get. And they may circle back like 2 months later and say, hey, I wasn't able to hit a Black Label. I want to finish out this set, or BGS 10. And they may pay more than what you were selling for a month later, because now 2 months go by and they weren't able to hit the grade. I mean, look at me. Like, I'm out here trying to buy 3 cards from that Dragon Ball set to finish out my Worlds stuff. And I've already put bounties on the cards that are far more than what they're worth, because I desperately want them for my set to complete it out.
And this is that Broly, right? And
no, it's the SS4 Goku leader. It's the Majin Buu leader. And then it's the Dragon Ball top 8. And they're difficult cards to grade. I mean, I have how many BGS 10s that I sent in for review at the National, and didn't Black Label any of those in particular. And I got some raw ones that I'm going to send in to sub again. But there's collectors out there like myself that want to finish a set, and those cards are always going to have some type of value to them. I mean, that's the thing, is like, you're never going to fall flat. At least in TCG, in my experience, they're never going to go down to zero. I've seen sports cards where people won't even buy them at all.
Yeah.
And not putting sports down at all. I'm just saying, like, if it's for anyone that wants to get into cards, comics, toys, whatever it may be, become a master of a couple of things instead of trying to spread out everywhere. I mean, I've done it in my career. If you look at my page, the way my page has evolved in different buying habits, and whatever I buy, I'm going to display on my page at that like day or two later. So you can go to my page and see how I've evolved and how my buying habits have changed. And they're always in like lumps, right? I always go like 3 or 6 months on one thing, 3 or 6 months on another, 3 or 6 months on another. And I dive into that world, and I communicate with people, and I network, and I become a collector. And that's what I like doing for that time. Mm-hmm. I still do a lot of it, just not as heavy as I once was, maybe the comic books per se. or sports cards. You know, like I'm not diving into it daily where I'm like immersed in it. Right now, that's the art for me. The TCG stuff as well, but you know, for me, it's the art. So I like to focus my energy and effort into one particular thing. And then a couple other things I'll give effort to, but I won't over leverage myself or spend myself into a hole because I haven't done my due diligence, knowing what I'm really putting my time and emphasis in is somewhere else.
Yeah.
What inspired the art play?
Oh man, so the art play, I always try to figure out what's going to be undervalued. And for the art, I looked at it as, okay, well, I'm buying the cards and I love TCG and I love the animation. I watched the anime. I said to myself, you know, someone had 3 years ago, Mikey Collects or Mikey Comics on Instagram. May he rest in peace. Passed away 2 months ago unexpectedly. Too young. I think he was 27 years old. You never know what's going to happen. So, not to be a somber person, but you know, value your friendships that you make on social media, because we talk to a lot of people that you may never meet in person. And I think it's always good to touch in base with someone and say, hey, how are you doing? How are things going? And he worked for Heritage. He did a lot of comic books and video games, VHS and cells. And he was ahead of the game when it came to the cells. And he was telling me 3 years ago, hey, dude, you really should get into this. I know you're into TCG. You love Dragon Ball. You know, you should get into the cells. The cells are the best way to describe it, guys, would be like a game use piece, right? Like if you're going after a Tom Brady card, you're like, oh, it's Tom Brady's card. Okay, well, what's Tom Brady's best game? What's that moment he shined out in? Okay, well, that's his helmet, that's his glove, that's his, you know, his jersey, whatever it may be. I think it kind of applies the same to the anime, right? Because that's the game use item, right? That's how they made the animation. That's where the artist actually drew the piece. And I find there's a lot of significance to that, especially culturally now, where we look where we're at in this landscape. Art is different, right? There's not the Van Gogh of our times. We have Banksy. He does more, you know, structural pieces and going in and just defacing things, and that's art. You have what's his name, Daniel Arsham, where he's doing sculptures and other pieces, and he's taking Porsche 911s and deconstructing them. So the art's evolved a little bit. It's not so much the Van Goghs, the Picassos. And I think the art of our generation could possibly be the anime pieces. It could be pieces that have a lot of value down the road. It's for me, it's fun, right? Because I get them framed, I'll collect them, I'll display them in my office, and they're great pieces to have, you know, conversations about. And yeah, like that piece there is, I mean, look at that, dude. Like that there is just an absolute mind-blowing piece. I mean, think about that. That's one frame in the movie Fusion Reborn, and they spent that much time on one frame.
Like that right there.
Yeah, that's the frame. So you'll see the two pieces on the right. Those are the mouth open right there. And each frame, they have their notations. This here is called a ganga. The ganga is the first portion of the process for animation, is where they say, okay, what's this going to look like in the frame? Let's draw it out. Let's detail it. All of our notes and specifics we'll put on there. So that's phase one, all that for one frame. And then the right side are the mouths. So you'll see they use the same exact piece. What they'll do is they'll change the mouths and then put it on there clip by clip, right? So you'll have the same structural face, hair, detail, and the mouth's what's moving. You have this phase one, then it goes to what it's called a doga. A doga is the final, yeah, see, that's so sick. A doga is the final piece that is refined in perfect drawing of what that scene's gonna look like. Now that doga, if you guys have ever heard what a cell is, right? A cell, okay. So cells are hand-painted pieces that they use for the final animation process back in the day, where they made it look just unbelievable. They took that clear sheet and they would place it on top of the doga, and then an assistant or someone working there would trace over the doga and then do all the paint lines based upon the description that the artist told them where the shading's supposed to be and everything and all the detail. So that's the three-step process. So you'll see here, like how everything's moving. That's the mouth, where he's had a mouth closed there. which is what I have, specifically that drawing. Yeah, it's history, man. Like, this is such a big piece to me, and I love it. I really, really enjoy it right now. It's so much fun.
I love that comment right there, bro. What the fuck is your collection?
Yeah. Yeah, it's evolving, man. Like, you should evolve, right? Like, I'm buying what I like. I buy what, pieces that I enjoy, and I have fun with it, man. Like, I don't get drawn. Like, I don't sit here and say to myself, "Oh man, this is miserable." Like, I can't sell. Like, no offense, man. Like, I can't sell anything. I keep losing. Like, I don't. I just enjoy it. This is fun. Like, that there is disgusting, by the way. So that piece is sick because they use it on a card. And that card, that same exact frame, was a pretty sought after card with Score. That's getting framed right now with that card and the photo. That was a Doga. So you'll see the Doga. Like, if you look at the photo here, you see the shading and the detail on the arm, his muscle and his hair and everything. If you go back to the piece that I have, the Doga, you'll see the outlines for the shadowing and how, yep.
That's sick.
And then that's the final stamp right there for approval for, okay, this is the piece to move forward with.
Jeremy said that you got me into TCG and then you went to artwork.
I go where the wind blows me and where I have fun, honestly. And I still do TCG, obviously. Like, I'm continuing to do that. You saw me at the National. That piece is sick. That's Goku's transformation to Super Saiyan for the first time fighting against Frieza. That's getting framed right now. That's a really big piece.
But Manny, I don't think it's any different than somebody that's into like RPAs and like patch autos picking up like a game used jersey and hanging it up.
For sure.
That's how I look at it. I look at it's the same parallel. It's just an evolution to me. It's something that it's funny because speaking with these guys and huge collectors, my God, you want to talk about people that are shelling out money that you never knew?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, man. We're talking about $100,000, $150,000 pieces. And people are being offered this on some pieces and getting declined by the owners.
That's insane.
How do those come? Like, how do those come shipped? And then obviously you said you're getting them framed. How are they? Like, how do you maintain them? And is there any like risk? Like, if you hang it on the wall, does the light make it fade or anything potentially?
Yeah, those are all great questions. Questions that I ask other people because I'm so new to it. The cells you don't hang up. The cells are the hand painted pieces. Because they can have the lines will start fading. There's another thing called vinegar syndrome is what I've learned is that if you keep it in the same bag and you don't let it get some air and breathe, every so often change the bag out, everything will start to just dissolve the paint and everything in there, and it will ruin the art itself. And there's been pieces like that. They call it vinegar syndrome. So what you're supposed to do is rebag it every like 6 months into a new bag, like let it breathe out, put it back in there. It's supposed to be, humidity, hates humidity, obviously, because it's paint. So you're trying to make sure that everything's secure there.
And you're in Florida.
Yeah, well, my house is always 71 degrees, so it's pretty good there. Yeah, so the cells you don't, the sketches you can. Now, what I do is I get the UV protected museum quality glare proof fronts to them, acrylics, so that I don't have to worry about that. I pay a little extra to get it done. In Michael's, dude, they have a great deal. My God, like I got that massive frame behind me. It was supposed to be like $2,000 to get done because custom everything. I ended up paying like $500 for it.
Oh, sweet.
How do you know if it's like truly authentic?
Another great question. That was my original issue 3 years ago when Mikey was DMing me about it. I said to myself, well, dude, how do you know it's real? Like anyone and their mom can go do this. If you pull up that photo earlier, Jeremy, the one I just posted today.
I gotcha. Let me see.
This one? Yep, the one with all the faces.
Mm-hmm.
You think anyone's gonna be able to do that?
I've seen your skills.
Yeah, right. But in all honesty, right? So there's certain things. You've got the age of the paper. You can't fake the age of the paper.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not white. It's a little off-white cream from the age of the paper. You got the notations. Certain artists do certain coloring on their stencils, and that artist did such and such. You look at the line work. It's almost impossible to get the exact line work from there to a cell to the animation that's on the episode in the same frame and everything. There's so many intricacies to it that there's no way that people are going to want to forge it, going to spend that much time. What they do forge and try to do is not the sketches, because that's entirely way too difficult. They'll try to forge the cells, and they're just so blatantly forged that you understand, like, okay, this is obviously it would be like I don't know the best way to describe it. You have a Lamborghini Countach, and then you have someone that built a Lamborghini Countach kit car. It's supposed to look like it. The engine looks different. Everything else, it sounds like shit. It just, it's not a Lamborghini. It's the same way here. And like, again, you have to educate yourself. You have to talk to the right collectors, and you have to learn this, because I myself was apprehensive 3 years ago. And then 2 or 3 months ago, I started speaking with more collectors and gaining more knowledge on the matter. And that's why I said, okay, I feel a lot more comfortable and safe buying from these collectors. And as I got pieces in, I said to myself, there's no way that anyone's going to spend that much time, do that many frames, and figure this out. It's just impossible.
Is this, are you buying off eBay?
They can't even perfect Pokemon cards being faked. Okay. So, and that comes off a machine. It's supposed to be far easier than that. Some eBay stuff has on. There's a lot of eBay scammers from Asia on there. What they do is they're not scamming in a sense where it's a fake sell. They're using other people's photos and trying to lure you in that way.
Like, look at that.
Yeah, that's Zoro. That's sick.
I can't tell if it's real or not, but it's
that's a sick piece though. So I'm not educated enough on the One Piece stuff. Like all the notations is what you want to see. The paper looks correct. Like you see, like you obviously want to make sure the seller's pretty legit. I mean, you'd have to do a whole thing, but that piece, that's an iconic scene. To me, it's pretty cheap. So I don't know if maybe it's a case of someone using someone else's photo. I don't know. So like in Dragon Ball, it's all about iconic scenes in the characters or moments. Very similar to like Game Used jerseys. Like, who wants a Game Used jersey from so-and-so for X amount when they could have his rookie jersey, first, home run, whatever, first strikeout, whatever. It's the same thing applies to the artwork. There's certain pieces that people will pay $100,000 for because it is a very iconic moment. It had the one particular artist that's really good. There's a lot of key factors that go into it. But yeah, dude, like this whole world is fascinating to me. There's not that many US collectors, believe it or not. I'd probably say I've spoken to 5 or 6. A lot in Canada, a lot in Europe, a lot in Asia, Hong Kong, Japan. And you start to realize some of the people that are buying these pieces, and there's Pokemon ones out there too. They're, in cards too, like some of them over in Asia, especially, where they have Pokemon Illustrator cards and they have, really big Pokemon cards. You're like, holy shit. Like, they're just expanding their portfolio, and that's how I look at it, is you want to expand your portfolio and assets and have stuff you enjoy, but also stuff you believe in long-term. This could be something, who knows? And if it is, that's awesome. If not, I got a lot of cool shit that's on my wall.
Would you expect somebody like maybe Beckett to maybe start authenticating these?
I don't, someone had asked that to me earlier, actually. He's like, oh, can you send it to PSA is what he said. And I was like, I mean, they probably could. I don't know if that's something they would want to dive into with the resources and dive into that world. I don't know what that looks like. I also don't want a sticker on it. I don't want a sticker on that piece of paper. I don't want anything ruin it. So I don't know how that would look. Would you frame it and then have them do a sticker? I don't know. And then what the shipping costs look like. There's a lot of factors in there. You would know that real Lamborghini versus a fake Lamborghini. And I think that's kind of where it's at right now. And I buy from reputable collectors, people that educate me on things. I've learned a lot from a lot of people. DBZ Nut, who I just got that SS3 from. And I'm going to give him a shout out here just because I'm going to butcher his name. His name's Josh, but his Instagram name is, where are you at here? I'm going to give you a shout out, bud. Izenzgola. Wait, can you get it there? No. That's what he looks like. I can't really pull it up. Anyways, he's helped me out a lot. If you're looking to get into the space or just want to learn, he's educated me in a lot of different things. And the community is very nice to deal with. Like, with TCG, you get in the community, it's awesome. It's the same way. same thing. It's no one's like trying to stab you in the back like sports.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked about the authentication piece is like, because some of that stuff just looks awesome, right? And so I'm sure naturally at some point myself or Manny will look into it. But then it's like the exit strategy. And my fear would be spending, like, for instance, that piece was like 4 or 5K. Like, how do I sell it? Because I'm sure if I'm trying to sell it to somebody, they're asking the same question. How do you know that this is real? But you spoke about community, and
I think it's about awareness. Like right now, like I was talking to a lot of these guys, like they're like diehard collectors. Okay. It's a big difference when in sports, everyone's buying to flip, TCG, too, as well. These are like legit people curating a collection for themselves. Some of these people you don't even know exist. They don't have social media. If I don't stalk with Josh, I wouldn't even know some of these pieces existed. I asked him the other day, I said, hey, is there, does anyone have the first sequence? So you always want the sequence of a transformation, like Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time ever. That's huge, right? That changed anime history. That's like the forefather for the blueprint and how to do anime. And there's 3 shots of that transformation. And they call them pan cells, where they're very, very large, right? So they'll do a very large cell, and then they'll take whatever they use for the animation process and scan over it. So the character doesn't move, right? And they scan over it, but it's a really large piece. So it's not frame by frame by frame. It's just one large one that slowly goes over top of it. And Toy Animation, who did all the animation for Dragon Ball, they have the Goku piece. They let everything else go. I don't know what else they have kept, but they kept that one piece. And there's 2 other pieces out there. One of them where he transforms Super Saiyan, and then Piccolo and Gohan are on the floor, and then Frieza's on the rock looking at him like, holy shit, what the hell are you? Allegedly, that piece has been offered 150 grand, and the collector turned it down.
I would imagine that's huge. And then when Vegeta and Goku fought for the first time,
those are big pieces.
That one, that's like legendary fight scene.
Yeah, like anything that is rare, like I have a SS4 Gogeta from Dragon Ball GT. That character only appeared in 1 episode. That's it. So you start breaking it down by, okay, how many episodes did this character, show himself in? How many transformation scenes? I got a lot of Broly stuff coming in from the legendary movie Broly. I'm like going all in on Broly right now. Accidentally, it just kind of happened. And those pieces are going to be sick. Broly has a big presence. I don't know. I really enjoy it. It's fun. I know I've been blabbing about it, but it's fun.
No, that means you like it. Like you could tell you honestly love what you're doing.
I find like his thought process to be very similar. I think you were on an episode of Luca's like a long time ago, like probably before I ever met you. And you were talking about, this is back when you were talking about comics big time. And I remember was it Miles Morales?
Yep.
And you were talking about like, because he only appeared X amount of times, or it was his first appearance and what you saw coming. So like now you're talking about the artwork, and I see like a lot of parallels in like the thought process of like what cells to go after.
Well, the cool thing is too, is if you're not even into anime, I was looking, the 1990s cartoons, there's Mickey Mouse artwork. Disney, there's South Park, Family Guy, like all these cartoons that people watched as kids have these cell artworks. So it's insane.
The Disney stuff's big. The only thing that worries me about Disney is that if you've ever been to Disney World, they have the art shops and the galleries there, and they mass produce cells like that never get used in animation. They just produce them and do limited to 500 pieces, limited to 200. They still sell well, don't get me wrong, but I want a piece of cultural history. Like I want, and to be fair, I'm not a big cell guy. So I talk to everyone's like, oh, well, the cells sell for the most. Like I get that. Like the cells sell for the most because it was the actual item used in the show. However, I'm looking at it from an art perspective. I want the artist renderings. I want what the artist drew. I want what came off of his pen on that paper. That's what I value. I'm still doing both, but I just don't see the value me paying 5x for the cell when I can buy the sketches for cheaper.
That makes sense.
How much space in your house is your wife going to allow you to hang this stuff up?
God, I'm gonna have this office. So I'll show you. I have this giant wall here, right here, and then I'm gonna double up there, and then I have like a half little moon wall right there. So I've got here, and then the guest bedroom. This big piece is gonna go to. Let me see there. I'm in the way. That big piece here. Screw it.
Yeah,
That big piece is gonna go in the guest bedroom up above the bed.
that's sick. That's why. So that's why when you see Brandan selling TCG, he's getting some funds to buy some more of this artwork.
I have to, man. My God, I went on a killing spree. So I sat there myself. I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I always do it right. I always go like balls to the wall no matter what I do. So I went on my buddy's Instagram. I went to see who he's following. And I just cold called everyone that has anything listed as collection on their Instagram. I must have had like 50 DMs out there. So pro tip, I commented on one of their posts. I said, amazing piece, shot you a DM. I liked like 5 or 6 photos, and then I shot them a DM.
I'm gonna do
Grab
that.
their attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I you could say I made a big splash into this hobby rather quickly.
I mean, what do you got? Like 8 pieces now?
Yeah, right. I probably have like 25.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yep. And here
He said all in, dude. He said he goes hard.
Yeah, that's
so this here is that portfolio that you keep them in.
Dude.
And I know this is the stuff that is not framed that I have in here.
It's sick.
Yeah, no, it's a blast, dude. Like I can have all these pieces in here and just easy grab them. So that's the cell there. That's the cell that obviously is painted, and that's the Doga right here.
See, that this is where having kids sucks a little bit, because that would make for like just a badass coffee table book.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, there's gonna be like high C spilled on it.
Yeah, right. See, that's why I'm framing them and hanging them up too high.
Yeah, so they don't reach something.
Yeah. But I've been buying collections from some people, and there's a lot of value, whether in sports cards or comics or anything, where if you buy a collection, you can get the 1 or 2 pieces you really want while getting the excess at a good value, and then selling those excess pieces to bring down your cost of the couple pieces you really wanted.
Mm-hmm. I like the cells. Now I'm looking at these. There's some sick ones. Like I just typed in cell artwork pretty much, and you get Flintstones. Like there's like SpongeBob.
I mean, it's been a big thing for a while, man. Yeah, it's been a huge for a while. Like the thing for me is that like we look at it culturally, like anime's had such a big boom and is part of mainstay culture now. And it's obviously gone up in value from when the people were buying these 6 or 7 years ago. But when does it stop? I feel like we're like an avalanche in this segment of cultural awareness on anime that's not stopping. If anything, it's growing. That snowball continues to grow as it goes down the mountaintop. So if you position yourself on some stuff, I don't know, who knows? I mean, I'm not a guru. I'm not giving anyone financial advice. I enjoy it. You can see it on my face. Who knows?
Anime is awesome. I used to make fun of kids that watched anime in high school, and now I'm here. Like I need to watch the new episode. It's coming out Sunday.
Speaking of, Jeremy, how'd you like Demon Slayer?
Yeah,
I got to the end, and I was like super pissed off that there was no more to watch. I thought when I switched over from the English version and I was reading the subtitles, the show was substantially better. And then I believe the last season where there was like more like badass music and then some actual shit talking instead of just like calling each other brats, but like they were getting heated and talking some serious shit. I thought it was dope.
Wait, what's that villain? How's that villain sound that you hate?
Which one?
The one with the bass. Jeremy was acting like him one day, and it was hilarious. Jeremy, you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
So I was like, and I was bummed. Like, I don't even like a new season needs to drop like immediately, and it doesn't sound like we're getting anything until 24.
Do you know how expensive each episode is to make? Oh my god! I gotta look it up. Someone told me, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
the animation alone is the best I've ever seen.
It's nuts.
Dude,
Jeremy, I told you the subtitles are where it's at. You're far more engaging. When they cross it to English, they don't use the same words. So if you saw more shit talking in the subtitles in Japanese, that's because it was meant to be that way.
I thought the last season was probably one of the best animated shows I've ever seen.
I was scared though, Brandon, because the ending of season was it 3, when the sister and brother were fight. Jeremy didn't really like that because he said it was lagging. It just kept going and going. You know which one I'm talking about, Jeremy?
By the way, it's $90,000 to make each episode
for 20 some minutes.
I think what the show does really well is they have the bad guy, right? And he is a complete and total piece of garbage. And like, you're so relieved and happy that he's dead. Then they go and do the arc and show, and you're like, man, I kind of feel bad for him.
I know. It just suck you in.
I can understand. I'd be a piece of shit too if I had to deal with those sorts of things.
Dude, like the brother and sister.
Yes.
Brother and sister.
You felt bad for the brother, like, shit, man. Like,
I felt bad for the spider people, the spider demons. You know the one.
Oh yeah, no, that was a good arc too.
Yeah, that one was good. Jeremy,
my favorite part though was the swordsmith, like just being so laser focused, and the guy getting so annoyed that he wouldn't give him any attention. Like,
which guy, Jeremy?
I don't know.
That sounds just like him too.
My kids were like, "Dad, shut the fuck up. Please leave me alone."
There's 1 week where he just kept doing that and talking like him. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you know, the guy that was mad at the one guy that kept doing.
Dude, that scene when Tanjiro sliced off like 3 heads at once was so epic.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I can't wait for the new season.
They do a really good job of building emotional connection. That's why people love One Piece. It is such a long anime. There's so many episodes. However, everyone likes it because everyone can relate to some or one of the characters. And each character in One Piece gets a full arc about who they are, where they came from, how they became to meet up with Luffy to become a gang of his pirates. And you want to talk about emotional connection. They do a really good job of doing that. The storylines are very intricate, and they build relationships, and they build you to have a connection as the watcher or the reader to really enjoy it. I mean, it's the world's greatest selling manga ever. I think I was reading that the other day, like something crazy stat wise.
Wait, who do you like compare to in One Piece?
Who do I like?
No, who are you attached to? I gotta figure out who's your close.
Oh, it's Zoro without a doubt.
You think you're Zoro?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I think I'm Zoro. I just like Zoro the character the most. Like, it's not even close.
I like Zoro. Jeremy's definitely the guy with the bull, the head, and Demon Slayer. I forgot his name. With no shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Jeremy.
You know, it reminded me of like almost like Breaking Bad. The first season was like painfully slow, but once it gets going, like the first season has to be slow because, like Brandan said, you have to understand who the character is, what they've been through, what they're about to appreciate it on the back end.
Dude, that first episode's rad. Like, if you watch Demon Slayer and you don't enjoy the first episode, you're just not gonna like it because it hooks you in. Like, holy shit, this kid's entire family just got crushed.
I don't think Jeremy would like other animes because a lot of them take a longer time to get into. You have to like One Piece. You have to go through a couple episodes to be like, yeah, I like.
Jeremy, you'd like Death Note.
Yeah, I didn't think that I was gonna like Demon Slayer. I'm very much open-minded, and I was never into anime whatsoever. I had never watched an episode until, you know, the last time we recorded, and then I burned through that. And there's something that's called like Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, or like recency bias. It's you go through life and you see all these things, but you don't recognize it. The minute I saw Demon Slayer, all I see is anime everywhere in my face. And so we were interviewing a lady to hire for our company, and she was wearing an anime shirt. And I was like this, like I just like kept staring. She's like, "You like the shirt?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually." I'm like, we're not even talking about work at this point. I'm like, "Yeah, I was watching Demon Slayer." Like, please no Demon Slayer, because if this goes like any other direction, like I'm gonna have to bullshit my way through it. And she's like, "Yeah, this is my son's clothes." He's like, he wears them, but she's like, I wear them out, and everybody thinks that they're awesome. So like, this is a woman who's in her 40s or 50s, has a kid, and she wears his clothes just because it looks awesome. And then I'm always seeing the shirts that you guys are rocking, Southside Supply, all that stuff. Stuff's dope. So like the artwork makes sense because I would hang a piece even if I didn't know anything about it.
Dude, the shirts are hilarious to me because I wear them out and I never get as much engagement as wearing an anime shirt.
Yep.
It's like everyone just wants to talk to you. They want to gravitate to you to have a conversation with you. Like the other day, we were out at breakfast, my wife and I was wearing a shirt from Southside. It was Luffy and Shanks. He goes and he walks up and he goes, "Oh my God, I'm a huge One." He wasn't even on our server. He like walked over from the other side. He's like, "Oh, I'm a huge One Piece fan." Blah blah. Like, yo, that shirt's awesome. And he just starts talking to us. You know, like the community. Like even if you wear a Detroit hat or a Bulls hat, you may get one person that say, "Oh, let's go Bulls." Like as you walk, "Let's go Rays." You know, you may get one of those. But like with anime, it's like a full on like love where they want to have a conversation with
nuts. It's nuts. And I can attest to it because I had the exact same shirt. I went to the restaurant. I was getting made fun of by my friends at the restaurant. As I'm getting made fun of, a waitress comes over and is like, "One Piece, I love your shirt." And then I looked right at them and they shut up so quickly.
Yeah. And they're probably single. Tell them to buy their shirts so they can get laid.
Exactly. So it's amazing. One Piece is hard to get through because I'm only on episode like 200. And you would think that's a lot, Jeremy, but there's like over 1,000 episodes.
Yeah.
So I've been struggling. You need to start Hell's Paradise. I think
Jeremy, you'll love Hell's Paradise. That's actually a really good one. There's only 13 episodes. It's one season. It's fire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna knock that out.
Hey, but I will tell you, Death Note. I really think that you and Courtney would enjoy Death Note. So Death Note is an older anime. I think it was only 1 or 2 seasons, and It was 1 season. Did you watch it?
No, I just looked it up as you said it because I'm like, I gotta add it to mine.
In a lot of it's like a thriller almost, suspense type thriller where this, and I'm not going to spoil it because it's what happens as soon as the episode 1 kicks off. The kid gets a high school kid, highly intelligent kid, like top of the class in his city. He gets a little black book, and in the black book, if you write down someone's name, they'll die. So he has the power to kill people at a stroke of a pen. And you're talking about an innocent kid who ends up getting this book. His dad's a cop, and he wants to get rid of all the evil. Mm-hmm. It's a really good anime.
He's writing it down right now.
It's written really well, and a lot of people regard it as one of the top animes ever produced. And a lot of movies and shows have spawned off of this, just because a lot of animes actually. If you've ever watched Stranger Things, the character 11, she was based off of an anime called Ellen Lied, ELENLIED. Talk about a nuts anime. It was 1 season, and it was insane. She was weaponized, this woman, to attack and kill other people, militarized, like 11 was. It was basically a straight ripoff of who the Ellen character was. But it was very, very gory. So like the first scene, she gets out of this like tube, and she's like trying to break out of the facility. And everyone's like, "Oh, stop. And she's stopping bullets and everything, just like 11. And like this girl crosses the scene, and she's like, "Oh, please stop, blah, blah." And she just like looks at her, and the head rips off, twists around, and then just drops down on the ground. Just blood everywhere. I was like, holy shit. Like, this is the beginning of this anime. This is going to be nuts. And it was like that the entire anime. But she had a soft side to her. She was trying to become humanized. And, she was ripped of her soul, of who she was as the person, to be weaponized. It's a really good anime that 11 was based off of.
That's awesome.
So we got to watch one of these, Jeremy, and have Brandan back on.
I'm going to knock them both out. Is there anything like from in the anime world? Is there like something that's being hyped that everybody's excited, like a new show that's going to be coming out?
Well, it's new shows. Yeah. Like, I mean, Hell's Paradise came out, and a lot of people like Hell's Paradise. It's really good. Jujutsu Kaisen's, really good. Season 2 is going on right now. Jujutsu Kaisen, I think it has like a Universal Studios license, because over Universal Japan, Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer have their own like section, like you would see at Universal Studios in Orlando. How they have like the Grinch section, Dr. Seuss, they have like a Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer area.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Speaking of like, I guess, well, I want to, before I let you go, I want to ask, I know you're not buying any, but that Pokemon Worlds is in like a week, right?
It's right now. Yeah.
It's right now. And they're not giving away cards for prizes. It just seems like they're giving out money. Did you see that?
I did not. I'm pretty sure they always give out cards.
I looked it up. Let me see if I could find it.
I'm pretty sure they always give out cards at the event. So like right now they're doing promo cards.
Okay.
Everyone that attends and plays the game will get a world stamp card, and then it's an exclusive art for that year. Little Easter egg for people that are looking to get into world stuff for Pokemon. Since the first Worlds Pokemon, every little promo Pokemon Worlds card, excluding from the trophy cards, always has a little Psyduck somewhere in the card. So they've carried that tradition every year since I think 98 or whatever it was. So Psyduck's always been on a Worlds card. He's always somewhere popping around, or he or she, asexual, whatever it is popping around somewhere. So this, you'll get one of those cards if you become top 16, top 32. You also get one that says stamped with what you placed. And then you'll get another one if you're like a judge or staff. It will say staff on there. So if you help with the event, you'll have your own card that says staff stamped. And then top 3 will get a Pika World Cup card. I believe it's at this event you get it, you're awarded to. I'm pretty sure. It's 1st through 3rd. We'll get a Pika World Cup card where he's holding up the World Cup and will tell your placement 1, 2, or 3.
Manny, would these be cards that you would buy if they become available?
See, you have to know people like Brandan with the Dragon Ball. It's hard because you want to get them like early. So once you get them early, and it's hard with Japan because I think Brandan kind of explained this to me. In Japan, they really don't like flipping, right? Am I right on that aspect?
Yeah, but Pokemon Worlds is a different altogether. There's a lot of people that travel over there from the US and other around.
Okay.
They're going there to buy products. So there's going to be a lot of flipping going on. But the problem is that how many of these cards are these guys going to buy, cipher through, and sell the ones that aren't going to grade, which is always what's going to end up happening.
See, with Dragon Ball, Brandan knew the people that are playing, and he has his contacts, which they're all on Instagram. They were selling them like right away.
Yeah, Pokemon's a different world, man. I'm the top of the top when it comes to Dragon Ball, and I know the whole world really well when it comes to this segment. But when it comes to Pokemon, it's a different beast. You're talking about, you got Logan Pauls out there and, all these other people. Like, it's hard to compete with those type of people. And you got people that have been doing it since 98, like Gary and all them. So they have all the contacts. You're late to the party when it comes to trying to build those connections. You could always try to go up the ladder, obviously, or travel there yourself, which seems to be usually the winner here. Is going over there with the cash is the problem, though. You can't really travel with a lot of cash domestically or internationally, so it's kind of difficult. But then you could do like Bitcoin or Weiss or some other type of transferring platforms.
One thing that I've been curious about, you were helpful when I bought those original or the 1999 Pokemon when I was at VCon a few months ago. Why is it that Pokemon, being a TCG, is PSA? Gets the biggest ROI, but everything else is BGS.
Yeah, I mean, PSA vintage Pokemon does really well, but you'll see now modern Pokemon is with BGS.
Okay.
It just is what it is. It's almost like people prefer vintage baseball and SGC. Gotcha. It's just kind of the thing. Like, it started off with PSA, with Pokemon vintage stuff. That's where it's at. The modern stuff set out. You'll see with the black labels, like I sent you the modern stuff, and BGS 10s and black labels of modern Pokemon for sure far exceed PSA 10 prices.
A good, Jeremy, going back to the tournaments, a good one to kind of start off, it's kind of what I'm thinking, and maybe Brandan, you could tell me no, but One Piece hasn't had their world tournament ever, and they're having it this year or next year, right? In Vegas?
Yeah, they have to. So there's not enough product out, right? You've got set 4 coming out, I think in English, or set 5. I'm not sure where we're at, and I think set 4 in English. So you have to have product. You have to have cards for people to build decks to actually have a big national tournament.
Yep.
If Bandai follows the same footprint, which I think they will, which they've proven to do already with Dragon Ball, in One Piece, is that they'll have regional tournaments, which they just had at Gen Con.
Yep.
With pricing. They'll have regionals throughout the year, and then they'll have a national tournament. And nationals is where they'll have like big prize cards for first through third, and that's going to be across the regions across the globe. So we may have 6 or 7 regions that compete in the national tournament level, and then the winners from those tournaments will advance to the world stage to have a world tournament to figure out who's the best of the bunch.
Yep. And don't buy the regional, because I almost fell into it as of now, because Brandon bought them early, but they're getting reproduced. Like each region's getting the same card.
Yeah,
So,
the winner gets a serialized Luffy that's out of 600.
you have one. You had one.
Yeah, it's on my page of PSA 10.
Yep. Oh,
And that card there is awarded as the winner card, but that's been out for a little while. In Japan, they had it as well. The thing about One Piece I just not a big fan of is they continue to reprint the art over and over. It releases to Japan, it releases in English, and it's a lot of saturation to me right now. There's nothing that's grabbed my attention that has a high level rarity that I would invest in. I think it's great for collectors. Obviously, if you want to, grade some stuff and sell some stuff so collectors can build collections out, and I think that's great. But as far as long-term investing, I don't know. I don't own any One Piece cards at all for long-term investing. If you're looking at it as an investment, if you're looking at it for collecting, it's awesome. It's great. But for me, I need some more. I need more rare than 700 cards produced.
and I mean, when it comes, if they end up doing a Worlds, that's where you will get your rare cards, and because they haven't done them
in nationals, because you'll have 1 through 3rd, and they'll maybe be all different artwork, and there'll only be 6 or 7 each copy. So yeah, nationals and worlds will be where I step in at.
So basically, what we're saying, Jeremy, is I'm tagging along. I don't care what Brandon says, but when there's a nationals, and I'm going with Brandon in a suitcase probably, and trying to get some cards with Brandon because I like One Piece. So
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of money though, bro. Like people love One Piece, and people are throwing money into One Piece heavily. So there's gonna be a lot of competition to buy the big boy cards when they end up hitting out.
we just got to find the best player. Maybe the best player of that Dragon Ball will go play in the One Piece one, and we already
do. They parallel. They're very similar card games. So a lot of people that play Dragon Ball play One Piece. They're all under the same company, Bandai, so they're very similar in gameplay.
Okay, well, we'll have him go out
and
help us get sets too.
Well, Friar Sports, Rob's already learned how to play Lorcana, so maybe we can get him to play One Piece too. He could be our mule. We can pay for flights in his hotel. We could be his sponsor.
That was going to be my next question. Thoughts on Lorcana? I have a feeling I know what you're going to say, but for the record, for everybody out there,
I think Lorcana is going to be huge. I think it's going to be so huge that the print run is going to match how huge it's going to be. I think that there's great opportunity short term, long term, I don't. But then again, it's a gamble to see how they handle it. They're going to be exclusive cards, which they did with D23. They did with Gen Con. I think those cards are more wise to hold and buy if you're looking to do that. I envision Lorcana where I go to Magic Kingdom with my kids, and in the gift shop kiosk, there's Lorcana packs there for them to rip. That's how I see it. I think that's how they're going to try to push it because it's Disney, and Disney never does anything small.
No.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't ask this. You had mentioned TCG, then the cells, and then today you post a Jordan card. Right, that's your first sports card purchase of the year, right?
That was a single play. Yeah, not like ripping boxes, which I've done with Bowman and stuff. Yeah.
How many LeBron black labels do you have?
I knew it was.
No, hold on. Before you become a dickhead, more so than normal. How did the Jordan happen? Like, was it just like that good of a deal, or like?
Yeah, I mean, a buddy of mine that I talked to on Instagram posted up for sale at like a really good price, and then I offered him something just slightly under it, nothing like a low ball. He's like, "Yeah, sure, cool." I'm like, "All right, cool, dude. I'll send it over to you now." I looked at it as, okay, it's a 90s insert. It was when he was in season, so it's not like a 2020 card. It's black label, and I know the inserts do well. It's a cool ass card. And then I went to eBay and I searched Michael Jordan black label. There's only one, and it's a Dunkin' Donuts for $80,000. So for what I paid for this, I felt really happy and confident in it. It's a really cool card. It presents really well. And if I ever wanted to say, hey, my friends in Chicago, do you want a really cool Jordan for what I paid? They would probably oblige and say, that's amazing. Thank you, Brandan Bronamath or Bronamath. You're so cool. We'll give you a shout out on our next podcast because you're such a gentleman, and always hook us up with Michael Jordan cards.
I would be lying if I didn't have the thought that, like, well, I think that's probably going to end up in my hands one day.
Exactly.
I'm not lying. I'm not like, there's going to be one day where my man's going to try to get liquid. He's going to want some cash, and he's going to, like, you know, you're going to get like the pat. And he's like, hey, man, he's going to whisper a number in your ear. You're just going to go, like, yep, that's too good to be true. We'll make it happen.
Dude, the amount of people that have DM'd me on that card that don't even follow me. Hey, is that for sale? How much? I'm like, who the fuck are you? Fucking out of here. Like, I just got the card. I just posted it. Can I at least cherish the moment for a second?
I mean, if it was LeBron, no one's DMing you, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but LeBron's a modern. This was my thought process is that LeBron's modern. He has modern cards being pumped out every single day. Probability of his black labels are very high. I don't know. I would love to see how many black labels Michael Jordan actually has in circulation while he played in season in those production years. I don't know what it looks like. It really can't be that high. I would have to say it has to be under 70 or 80 total would be my guess. I typed it on eBay. There's only one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice card. So I just wanted to give you that one LeBron crack because season's
listen, I get it. Everyone thinks my name's Bronamath, Bronamath.
Yeah.
So
no, it's fine. Basketball season's coming, so I have to. I've been chill because
you gotta be happy about something because your teams all fucking suck. So
yeah, they do. It's bad. By the way, before we go, One Piece Worlds is released. By the way, it's gonna happen in March of next year.
Okay.
So World, let me see. Yeah, I think it goes in March 2024. Which is weird because they haven't gave like any information on when the Nationals is. But it seems like World is 2024.
They usually do it like 2 months out.
Okay. So probably the beginning of the year.
I would imagine that Nationals would have to be after Set 4 comes out now.
Five's this month.
Set for English.
Oh, 4 hasn't came out yet.
Yeah. So I would imagine Set 5 for English, and then they would have Nationals would be my guess. They usually do.
What's the next case you're buying?
I'm buying OP5 Japanese. I think I got 2 cases of that just because they've got Gear 5 in there and a couple good hits. Just to kind of, rip it and see how it goes. And then I'm buying cases of the newest Dragon Ball coming out at next month, maybe beginning of next month. I can't remember what it's called. It's whatever the next set is, Zenkai 22 or some shit. They got a God Rare in there. They've done a lot of cool cards so far, and they haven't released what the God Rare is going to look like. My guess is going to be Gogeta, which is from the movie Fusion Reborn, which is that photo you saw earlier, all the faces.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be from that movie, which would be a pretty cool card.
That's sick. Yeah, I got offered to buy OPO5 from the same person. Probably buy it, and I was like, chill. I got beat on our OPO4. He's like, but OPO5.
OPO5, dude, even if you bought it for what the price was, he offered it to us, you could have resold it and made $200 on the case, not even touching it.
Yeah. Well, he gets a good hookup. So
but they limited the allocation on that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
big set, dude. It's got a couple big cards.
See, I had no idea. He was just like, "You want OPO 5?" And this is just like probably right before National. He asked me.
I heard that they were doing case at $1,200, and our price was far better than that. Yeah,
That's way better than what I was told.
yeah, yeah. You
Oh
should
man,
have done your research before you said no.
I should have asked you.
He already quit TCG and was back into something else.
No, I'm saving up for now that I see One Piece, the Nationals, or the Worlds. I'm gonna make Brandon go with me. I'm not buying a single thing until the Worlds.
But see, that's the wrong mindset. You got to be flipping shit to build up some capital. So when you go to Worlds, your cost entry is far lower than what you would have been doing.
That's the problem.
That's not a problem. You could have bought the.
I'm not great on the flipping aspect.
My man called me today with a new plan, completely unrelated.
I'll tell Brandon off stream the plan because I don't want to steer anybody the wrong way.
Like when he listened to me, I went to Chicago. I'm like, go find a bunch of Detroit shit. Next week when we go back to Detroit, it'll sell easy. And he had the greatest experience of his life. He didn't have to haggle with people. It was just easy arbitrage because he listened from here to here.
Then in our group chat, I say the same player, and I get roasted by everyone in the comments. You want this guy? You just got drafted. They just drafted another running back.
I just like roasting you, dude.
Not you. You didn't see it in the chat? It was a Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, it's not my thing, dude. I don't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant to me. Unless it's a black label or a piece of art at the moment.
Yeah, that's just beneath him, Manuel.
I know. Well,
I'm an art curator now, okay? I'm going to Art Basel.
Exactly. You're gonna start pumping shit. They're gonna accuse
great bro curator.
Well, to be honest, what's funny is that I have speaking with someone at the National that does some setups at Art Basel. He wanted me to bring some Dragon Ball cards last year for Art Basel, whatever it was this year, the last Art Basel. And I was talking to him in the National. I was like, look, I've been getting into these artworks. Like, dude, you have to come set up some of those art and then set up the cards next to it. It'd be fucking sick. I'm like, oh, I'm 100% doing that. That's going to be a sick little setup. But at Art Basel, bro, there's going to be a bunch of dudes that have a ton of money that's going to see this shit, never realize it was a thing, and want to buy all this shit off the fucking wall.
Yeah.
What's Art Basel?
It's a big art show down in Miami.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
When I was at Mint, I think Andy Friedman, who's done a lot of stuff with Topps and has been at a lot of card shows recently, I think he was at an event there last year where they brought in a bunch of sports cards. And I think the initial reaction was like, this isn't art. And then they brought in the Brinks truck, and they saw the security with some of the 52 Manels and stuff. And they're like, oh, wow, I guess there is some real money over there.
Yeah, Art Basel's huge, by the way. You want to talk about money being thrown around? People travel all over the world for that because these artists, they'll end up renting out hangars, airplane hangars, and all this other shit, and they'll have their own art shows being thrown in these places. You'll see Lamborghinis that get painted by the artists and stuff like Alec Monopoly and a bunch of other people. It's a real big event.
So you're going.
Oh yeah, I already told my wife. I was like, "Look, man, I've been getting into this now. I'm an art curator. Okay, I've leveled up, and I'm gonna have some pieces on display. You're more than welcome to come if you want to."
What did she say when she saw your binder, your portfolio back there?
She doesn't mind, dude. My wife's never been one to be like, "What are you buying? What are you getting into?" She's never been that way. She's been really cool and supportive of whatever I do. So for me to be able to have that flexibility with my wife being on board with what I do as far as buying and selling things, it's a stress off of me because I know a lot of people get pushed around sometimes from wives or girlfriends or boyfriends, husbands, or whatever. Like, hey, listen, you shouldn't be buying this, shouldn't be doing that. But she's very supportive, so she likes it. She said, "You just can't have it all over the house." I was like, "Look, I'm gonna do my office, and then I'm doing the guest bedroom." I go, "You have the rest of the house. You have our master bedroom. You have the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, the girls' room. You have everything else." I have three girls. I have three girls. Okay. Give me this opportunity to have my art displayed in 2 rooms of the house. Thank you.
So 2 things, Manny, you should know because he's told the story before. When he made that first big flip on the Pokemon, and his wife was like, all right, cool. Knock your socks off. I'm going to get the hell out of your way. Go make that bread.
No, well, my wife, she would let me. She would just make fun of me about it. She makes fun of me about wearing the shirt.
You would quit, and then you'd be like, "Oh, I should have listened to so and so on the internet."
All right.
Nah, she never makes. I mean, she definitely doesn't want me to wear anime shirts around when we go to certain events, and I get that, and I don't want to wear that all the time, obviously. So that's the line in the sand there.
How is Mrs. Bronamath? How is she doing? Is everything good?
She's good, thanks, man. Yeah, she's definitely pregnant, very, very pregnant. We're just waiting at this point. You know, she was feeling a lot of pressure earlier. We're at the mall with the girls. She's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, all right, well, I don't have my bags packed for this event yet, so we should probably get home so I have it back. But she's due for a scheduled C-section the 31st of this month. So,
oh, wow.
You know, we go back to school earlier than you guys, our kids, and they started today. So her and I were talking about, listen, let's just get through this week, get the school and our routines in place. And then the baby can come where the baby wants to come.
There you go.
Thanks.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks.
I'm going to see recordings of your kids, and it's going to be the best.
So last time my youngest was born, that's currently here, she's 3. It was like 3 years ago. I remember being in the delivery room when, like, after the night after, and the kids sleeping, my wife's sleeping. It's far easier on baby number 2 to relax versus baby number 1. I'm like standing over the incubator, like, all right, the baby breathing, is this gonna be okay? Is the baby gonna die? Like, my anxiety's through the roof. I was sleep deprived for like 5 days, thinking that my baby's just gonna like not breathe. It's terrible. It's very, very, very tiring. So baby number 2 comes, like, all right, I'm gonna relax on this little bed and try to make the best out of it. I just remember ripping live like a behemoth. I want to say I'm sitting there with Adam Frankenstein cards and some of his rips. I want to say it was Crown Royal, and I was picking the Lakers because I would think it was his first year with the Lakers, LeBron. And I got some nasty cards too in the hit. And everyone's like, "Oh, you got some sick cards. Congratulations. You deserve it. You just had a baby." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I did." Yeah. So it was fun, man. That was a fun moment. But I don't think I'll be breaking any wax this time.
Come like October, November, I want you to have that moment when you're sitting on the couch and all 3 girls are playing, and then recognize the difference from baby number 1 to baby number 3, where like baby number 1, they fall down. You're like, "Oh my God, are you broken? Are you okay?" Like baby number 3, like cracks their head. They're bleeding everywhere. You're like, "Yeah, throw some dirt on it. You'll be all right."
Yeah, absolutely. You kidding me? That one's the one you carry by the back of the diaper, like a grocery bag. While everyone else is like kicking the kid, like, "Oh, let's keep kicking her." So yeah, do whatever the hell you want. Toughen her up. Throw some mud in her face.
Well, we wish you and your wife nothing but a healthy birth, man. Everybody's here for you if you ever need anything at all. I'm sure you know that. We appreciate you hopping on. You're a wealth of knowledge. The collection is dope. The cards are dope.
Thank you.
You're a dope person, so we really appreciate it.
I'm crying. Thank you. No, I always enjoy coming on your show, man. You guys are very authentic. I'll say it now. You guys will always have the best intro for a podcast I've ever been on. I love that song. I was dancing my ass off.
We saw you.
Yeah, I was dancing.
We could see you on the bottom.
I know you could.
It was good. I love that intro.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you. Jeremy, before we go to it, are you gonna? We gotta have a situation. The people, because we talk TCG, the people love Bronamath, and they want you on more often. So, are you able to come on next month sometime?
Yeah. Right, listen, you ask, and I will show up, my friend.
All right, sounds good. So we're
gonna be holding number 3 high and tight. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Listen, I'll come to any event you invite me to, Manny, except for the gangbangs you do on the weekend. Besides that, I will be everywhere else.
Well, Rob goes to that too, so we'll come get you.
No, I would thoroughly enjoy it, and hopefully we have some like Lorcana would be out and some other products so we can talk on those topics too.
Yep, OPO5 too.
Just no kissing Manny the plug on the mouth. Pies, everything else is acceptable.
Pies is good. Pies is good.
Oh, Jeremy, what do you want the people to do?
I'd like them to smash the subscription button. That's it.
Smash it. Just a normal smash.
Dude, I actually just thought of a great thing for you to do, Manny. I've seen it all over the place. It's where people hop on the live and they start yum. Pop, 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 yum.
When they get a dono on TikTok, I know what you're talking about.
There's that one lady went like
a cowgirl
for like 48 hours or something like that, got paid.
Yeah. That's what you need to do.
If I can figure out how to do it on Instagram, I'll do it.
Dude, that's that's it. Jeremy, we just figured it out.
We did. Hey, Manny, we're going to set this up for you. It'll be a nice even split, 60 for me and him, 33 for you, and then 7 for the business. Will be good.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Such a union guy.
Yeah. Well, with that, everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed your hobby release. We will be back soon. Thank you, Brandon.
Appreciate you guys.